mashallah, with all their postings and amazing graphics. Everybody became now graphic superstars. So Allah bless them, dress them, inspire them to send much more out, lots of animes out, lots of memes out and AI quotes, everything, mashallah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
Can you please expand on the reality of have you ever been a thing not remembered? That have we always existed in the world of light and the deep of it is in the kingdom of form, and that our Shaykh has always been watching over us. The Holy Five has always been dressing us.
You've made your mind up, so there's less a question, more a statement, inshaAllah. Alhamdulillah. Have we ever been a thing not remembered is because it's teaching us that this world of form is delusional and that you cannot exist without your light reality. So that's when we have to bring back just basic sciences that we were taught in school, that your form to exist must have what? Must have a light form, and these are the atoms in your atomic structure we call as quantum and the study of light. So your form to be here right now, you must have atoms. Those atoms are lights. As a result they say, oh these lights to be manifesting you must have an energy, and oh if this energy is existing it must actually be a vibration and a sound. And Allah said in Qur'an, for verily everything is praising, Sabbihu wa bihamdi. None know it but the people of tafakkur, because this is an exceptional knowledge, not a common knowledge. So it means that Allah is saying, what do you think you just appeared out of nowhere? Your zikr and hamd is ancient. If that hamd and that praise wasn't moving, there's no way you'd be manifesting. So everything is in existence by its ancient manifestation. Now go deeper and say, whose zikr? Because Allah clarified, if it's my zikr, the mountain will be dust. So what we call Prophet the one hamd, right, is the flag of praise. Muhammad, the name of our Prophet is only about hamd. Ahmad, Muhammad. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Means these are all the immense realities of praise and hamd, that Allah again is the power, and as a result the praisings, the power of the zikr of the light of Muhammadun Rasulullah immediately creates an energy by its praise. In this ocean of praise upon Prophet what happens? It creates an energy. When this energy begins to come out, then all the atoms come into existence. When the atom comes into existence, the lights and then the form. All of it is related to this ocean of praise. All of it in the reality of Muhammadun Rasulullah. So then that's why we have the Burda Sharif, Qasida Burda, this is why we have Dalal Khirat. These are all the secrets of that ocean of power. So in all of the awrads of tariqas or what? Either recite the Qasida Burda, which has to do with the secret of the ocean of power. Naqshbandi is Dalal Khirat. It's not the Imams who brought it, Sayyuti, Jazuli brought the Dalal Khirat. No, he was given the gift to reveal it. That's an ancient reality from the oceans of power. There's not something made up here and then decided they're going to write these. These are ancient realities that Allah gave the owner of that wali, that you bring that recitation onto this earth. But in its oceans of power, when they're reciting that, what they're doing, they're breaking away from the world of form and going back into the ocean of origin, that you exist in an ocean of power. And as soon as you do the awrads and the zikrs of the tariqah, what are you doing? You're going back to your origin. It's a journey home. You landed on this earth and you forgot who you are. And we thought that this earth has everything for us, but no, it actually became the prison. They created this earth, Shaitan made this earth as a prison, but such an amazing prison in which the prisoners beautified their own prison cell. They shut the gate to their cell and they don't want to leave it, they're so enchanted by it. They said they don't have a prison like that on earth yet, but they're trying to follow Shaitan to make that, in which you be so content in confining yourself, locking the cage yourself and acknowledging that you're better off to be a prisoner. But that's not the reality. When we do the zikrs, the chantings and the practices, you're now regaining a power from your origin. And when your origin is coming to you, telling you are in a prison right now and you have to break out of this prison. This is not your reality. This was not your purpose. You have to go back to what your purpose was, and that can only be achieved when you bring the energy from your origin back onto your being. And that's when the awliya are teaching. This has to do all with the love of Prophet inshallah.
Someone had just asked about the secrets of the
It's needed in these days. These realities that come out, before these types of realities, nobody would talk about it. There's no need to talk about it. You'd have to advance very high in tariqah, and only in certain associations maybe they would have tried to talk about these realities. But because we are at the end of the chapter, things are happening on this earth very fast, and the devastation and difficulty that coming upon this earth, then those whom Allah inspire towards their haqqaiq and their reality, it's not meant for everybody. It's not like your 7-Eleven, everybody come in. It's whom Allah wants to guide so that they can reach back to their origin. And as a result of being inspired in their heart, they have an insatiable appetite. You know, it's like a spiritual food. Not everybody is interested in this type of food. We can't make you hungry. Only Allah can make you hungry. When He makes you hungry for it, nothing else satisfies your desire except to hear that reality, the haqqaiq. Why? Because difficulties come. And there are souls that know that difficult times are coming. The food that other things and places are just not feeding me. And then they become anxious and depressed. Why? Because the soul knows they're supposed to be achieving something, and you're distracted and deluded by this world. And this world is not going to offer you anything except hardship that's open. So then the spiritual practices, spiritual energies is a food that takes away depression. Why? Because it doesn't have to worry about the past opportunities, and it begins to take away anxiety because it's not worried about the future. If you're good with Allah, good with Prophet, good with awliya fi samai wa fil ard, you're good and you feel good. There's nothing else to worry about. Just do more and more and more to bring the energy. And you're understanding what difficult things are opening on this earth, and alhamdulillah, Allah's plan is much more powerful. But without this type of guidance and light, that's not what people are thinking. They're just preparing for devastation and becoming panicky and losing everything. But this light that Allah wants to give, then there's no fear, no grief, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum as-salam.
So if we are diagnosed with ADHD and struggle with impulsivity and completion of tasks, how do we appropriately make our accounting for our lack of focus on our spiritual goals?
Yeah, I don't know, you have to get medication, always seek medical advice, because we don't ever tell anybody to get out of the system of medical advice. But you have to also understand and educate yourselves on diet. That the modern food that we eat has an immense amount of toxicity. There's a lot of people who've tampered with things, the body doesn't digest things, the sugars, the caffeines and all of the different things that people are intaking is also affecting mental status and anxieties and depressions and ADHD and every type of diagnosis that people are coming up with. So it's a whole program. One, you get your medical advice, stick with your medical advice, and also start understanding diets that cut sugars, cut caffeines, cut the things that are causing you anxieties and understand and research it, inshallah. A lot has to do with the food. Means everything that has been given to us has some amount of tampering. So people have to be cautious of what they eat, how they eat, their ability to digest these foods. So most of the fast foods now, if you put it out, nothing in the backyard will eat it. And if they put it out there, not a cockroach will come, not a rat will come, not any creature will eat those things. But we eat them nicely and just finish it. So there's something going on. Everybody has to research to their own understanding and try to sort of also watch their diet and try to regulate their diets and their du'as and the medicines that they have to take, inshallah.
As-salamu alaykum, Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam.
Please forgive my ignorance. How can I increase my concentration by any spiritual practice and could know my nafs actively not flowing in thoughts?
The Shaykh, yeah, no, it's all the meditation, the salawats, the whole meditation practices. You have to get the book. You never know if they cut the internet. You know, if you saw the movie from the Obamas, it's bizarre that a president with all his presidential clearance making a movie about internet shutting down. Because usually they're not allowed to talk about anything with their clearance. So, you know, the system with shaitan is that he has to disclose everything he does. What do they call the truth in plain sight? Right? Because shaitan worships Allah. He doesn't like Adam and Eve. So he knows he doesn't want to be punished by Allah. So always remember their hierarchy that take orders from shaitan, his system with Allah is I disclosed it. Because he doesn't want to be punished. Wahid is one who worships Allah. He doesn't like Bani Adam and their progeny. So everything shaitan does, he has a notice upon it, and people still will continue to go about their way and not acknowledge it. They put a warning on cigarettes, they say it's going to kill you, it's going to take all your lungs out, and they still use it. They use their spirits, they do all of these drinking, and he puts his name and logo on everything, he puts the warning on everything. So it means that this is a system that they're doing. And they operate under the same understanding. So why are they telling people that the internet is going to be shut down? And why are they telling people they're going to blame it on people? So, you know, they plan, Allah plans better. So you take always your precautions as a state of faith. You know, people of faith, they're always prepared for difficulties. Their homes are prepared, they have food, they have resources within their food. You know, they have crackers, peanut butter, they have things that will last if the market doesn't open for 3 days. Otherwise, how you have faith in you are relying on only Costco to be open or a local grocery store to be open? You have to have supplies within your home. We said if tomorrow they close your bank, you have to have a good portion of your money in gold and silver. But if they close the bank, what do you think, how are you going to eat? The movie showed that too. Bank closed, credit card closed, phones all disconnected, all the internet was shut off, and all the Teslas were self-driving and blocking highways and roads. So why are they pushing electric cars when other people are saying we don't even have the electric power for all these cars? Why? Why? So that somebody else can drive your car. I said today, not for you to go to Los Angeles. Your car will stop and not go in. Or Your car says, time for you to come to us, to this office. And they get the car and takes you to your destination without your approval. But in the movie, it showed that all of the cars were on autopilot and blocked all the highways so that people couldn't leave over the bridges to get out. This is Allah's rahmah. They say, how much you wanted to be warned? You see, the shaitans are telling you these things are happening. The people of Iman have to be even far beyond that to understand. Their lives have to be, prepared. They take their one step, Allah prepares 99 steps for them, inshaAllah.
Assalamu alaikum, Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, could you please tell us what is Dabatul Earth, beast of the earth, and the Dukhan, smoke?
We're still waiting for Dukhan. That's supposed to come before these events. This is a difficulty that Allah inflicts upon people. And they say it's a smoke but like a virus attack, in which their body will have blisters and boils all over them. And that they will pray for God's forgiveness, that He relieve them of these difficulties, and they go back into disbelief. These types of events happen within matters of days. So you all of a sudden hear a nation is about to go to war, they're even talking now that if they go to war, they're going to use attacks, chemical attacks. So they already started this process with these sicknesses that came from, each country sends one sickness here, another country sends a sickness there. So these are already the days that we're living in. So this is, we talked before about that. What's happening in other areas where hundreds of thousands are being killed and slaughtered, these are offerings that they're offering to shaitan and they want favors. So these are very dangerous times, but it's good to be good with Prophet ﷺ, to make your connection, to receive that energy, your guidance, and to build that connection with the heavens, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum, Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sayyidi, can you speak about the Mount of Kaf, Jabal Kaf, where Hazrat Ali trains his students?
Yeah.
Ask the AI.
Yeah. I think we talked about that before, Jabal Kaf and the realities of Quran and Majid. And this has to do with the heart of Prophet ﷺ, and beyond the realm of our understanding, in which the Ruhaniyat of Imam Ali salam trains 12,000 of Rijal and Awliya, and they take, at the time of that appearance, they take the attributes and images of Imam Ali salam, and there are 12,000 horsemen, that their horses will and the steeds will move as fast as the sight of that Rijal. So anyone in any nation who has Imam Ali salam on their side, you have to feel sorry for the other side. So this is an immensely blessed nation. So they just have to connect and regain the status of who they are and who they belong to, and how they belong to Prophet ﷺ. Make their connection, make that love, and to enter back into the state of their acceptance and their lights and blessings. And the hand will be forced in that direction anyways. You said there'll be less grey, because the black is showing itself as dark and evil, and the white will begin to appear. And we said before, the only religion on this earth is the Islam, and the only deen and religion of Allah is Islam. Everything else is now Buddha-parast and idolatry. They've taken humans as gods. So there's no longer any affinity with anyone who calls a human God. There is nothing of an affinity or likeness with it. So the only religion of Allah is Islam. The other side, they think Hashem is coming and Hashem will be God for them. Again, there's the same as the other side. So the only religion on this earth that submits to Allah and that Allah is the creator, and that no human is a creator, then this is the only religion of Allah. And that's the amazing part. In the last days, that becomes the light clear for everyone. And that's why many people are seeing these devastations. So this is a religion. These people are firm, these people praise their Lord. In the middle of all the rubble, they put their sajada and they begin to pray. this is the religion of Allah is becoming more clear for people. Now for that religion to regain its power is with the love of Prophet.
Assalamu alaikum Shaykh Sayyidi.
Walaikum salam.
Sayyidi, who can be a part of Imam Mahdi's army and fight for his cause? Is it only the higher spiritual people chosen by the divine, or ordinary people will join as well?
Yeah, we have a talk on that. It means the people who survived devastation but achieved an immense state of love, right? It's not a group of angry people, because anger by its nature is narani and fiery. Fiery will lend itself towards the shaitan. Unless they're taught with their khuluq, their character, to be loving. So then these awliya we described before are who? They have hidayat of the head and they carry the waw of wudu. So in the way of who men, they come and teach that you have to have guidance and your structure has to be based on love. Love for Allah, love for Prophet nothing else. Don't love Christmas tree, love this. No, it's love for Allah, love for Prophet. As a result of that love, it dresses the goodness of the character, grants sincerity, then the sincere will be with Sayyidina Mahdi salam. Because they'll connect, they'll feel the energy and they begin to have their spiritual openings to make that connection. But if people think they're just going to get angry and it's going to be a group of angry people yelling, screaming and fighting, no, those people are all going to perish. 6 out of 7 people on this earth will perish. That because the other side wants that. They don't want people on this earth. And Allah has allowed the Dajjal to achieve what he has to achieve. It's bi'izzatullah, it's by the permission of Allah and permission of Prophet and the permission of awliya. Because shaitan takes from izzatullah, izzat al-Rasul, wa izzat al-mu'mineen. Shaitan has no power to do anything without their permission. So we don't fear shaitan, we fear Allah. Others they fear shaitan, but because he has a permission, 6 out of 7 will be taken from this earth. But when they feel that they're going to go beyond that, then Imam Mahdi makes his takbir and salam to save humanity and to save those whom Allah wants to be saved. During calamities, then awliyaullah will be guarding people with their abilities. That if they are mahfuz and guarded, they'll be guarded through their spiritual associations, through the ta'weezes, through the different spiritual beings that have been assigned for the protection of people whom Allah have written to be protected. And we've given they have many things and many amazing proofs that everything was written by Allah. One thing they're doing in that CERN is they're creating an energy. When they move this energy at a high speed, you rip a fabric. When you rip a fabric, many things come out of that through that dimension, and many things try to enter into that dimension. They are trying to move through timelines to create fitna. We described that they try to move through a timeline and say that if they don't want a particular person to be alive, they go kill the great-grandfather. As a result of killing that person, this timeline changes. And Allah we gave the verse in Qur'an where Allah describes it's like a folding scroll, and that at every moment we can create a new creation, because Allah is giving izzat to shaitan. That every time they do that, Allah will make an entirely new creation in which that person is not in that creation anymore. So when Allah then gave for pious people in the last days, He called them mahfuz. Means what? They're guarded. As a result of being guarded, their file is encrypted. The shaitan can't kill any of their lineage, Allah wrote the plan. As a result, they have an encryption on their entire family line. So if that person is meant to be with Sayyidina Mahdi salam, these Dajjals can't go into that machine and go through a timeline to destroy somebody. But those whom are not mahfuz and not guarded like that, then they are changing things. They change their holy books, they change many things. And then we described before that even Allah gave the secret of Qur'an. He says, your Qur'an is guarded by Hafiz, his guardians. Why? Because they're the blockchain. That when Dajjal tries to play with these verses of other books, he's changing the prayers. He changed the prayer in the Bible from forgive us our sins, and all of a sudden became now forgive us our debt. They changed the dua in their book because it's not mahfuz, it's not guarded. But Allah for this religion gives us the signs in the last days that why would you think the ones who memorize Qur'an, why don't you call them memorizers? Why did you call them hafiz? Because they guard, they're the blockchain. So these billion people who memorized it, you try to change one letter in one country, it doesn't matter. All the others will have known it. And that was the whole concept of blockchain. They said if we have everything on a centralized database and somebody destroys or hacks this database, everything is lost. But if we send parts of the information to 10,000 different servers, how could you lose the information? Because the other 9,999 will pick up the information and recapture. So the original blockchain is Holy Qur'an. So everything Allah has written this plan and it's all being enacted now.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam.
Do we all have a unique zikr which makes us take us back to our 7 unique names?
Everybody is under a Rabb and an authority, and it's from one of Allah's names that governs that servant's character. And we described before, if Allah dressed you from Sifat al-Kareem, you're a generous servant. And shaitan wants your generosity towards his goal. So your character never changes, generous is always generous, but shaitan wants to make it generous in his way. Once we come back to our reality and to our religion, then our generosity is towards the way of Allah. So this is a governing attribute from Allah's names that dress the servant and give it's the essence of its coordinates, inshaAllah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. بحرمة محمد المصطفى بسر سورة الفاتحة. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Shaykh Nurjan. Thank you for watching the video that you're watching. Inshallah, if you're happy with the content and happy with these programs, please support the button below, the programs that we have for our orphanage repairs, our water well, Give the Gift of Life, our mobile food vans. We have now 5 vans, Vancouver, Chicago, Los Angeles, Pakistan. There's many programs that reach thousands of people and rescue foods and give those supplies to people in need. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, be so kind as to leave loving comments and please share the stream. Every bit counts. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.